there. Now directly, this is these guys' third feed of the day. These guys get about 6 feeds throughout the day, and that helps with their dietary requirements. And as you can see, these guys don't have the ability of naturally grazing or from the ground, such as you may have seen in white rhinoceros, or closer characteristics to cows and sheep livestock. These guys rely heavily on their trunk and their development to be able to attain their food sources. Directly, we feed them about 60 kilos of food throughout the Zoo Institute, throughout the day, and that consists of different varieties and giving them the different nutritional value and substance to make sure that they're getting the correct vitamins, as well as it educates them, such as these blue tubs I'll throw out. These blue tubs contain an enrichment feed. Being very intelligent and incredibly very smart animals like they are, we're consistently coming up with new ways and new developments of how we can probably make them think and make them work for their food activity. As you can see with Burma, she doesn't want to get too wet, but she's got the apples bobbing down packed by going close to the edge, using the trunk to wave the apples closer to her, and she grabs them by that instant. Just like when we'll throw out these pellet cubs, you'll notice that they've both got different developments and different ideas of how to obtain their food, and it's just because they're all unique, they're very unique in their own way and their own right as well. Now predominantly they get generally about 20 kilos of hay on a daily basis, and we also give them other involvement on other food variations such as the browse we saw there throughout the very start. That was casuarina today, casuarina today, and they do get other formats of variation of wattle, casuarina, and other substance, and even the natural and the native plantation that they get that we do grow here at Tom Western Plains is their elephant grass. You notice that there's some elephant grass growing at the front of the other exhibit, and it's almost ready to be start harvesting. This is the time in the summer the elephant grass blossoms, and that's when we generally feed it out to the elephants, and they absolutely love it. Now you find that elephants throughout Asia constantly and consistently grazing on that elephant grass, and as I say, these guys in captivity eat up to about 60 kilos of food every day. Out in the wild directly they can eat over 100 kilos. But in saying that, they don't have the same ability in the digestive system as sheep and cattle. These guys have only got the exactly same number of stomachs as we do. They've only got the one stomach, and that helps, and that allows for their food to be digested very slowly, and it has an impact on them. So they generally eat throughout the day, just like we do, because that's what their nutritional element is, and that's what their digestive system requires and has that aesthetic appeal to it. So like I was mentioning before, guys, with the trunk, that trunk contains all of its important environment, all of its natural elements and figures have been able to attain food as well as water. And that trunk acts like a natural straw for them, and giving them the ability to fit approximately about 10 litres of water up that trunk without sneezing. Now, for kids, you want to go home and try how much water you can fit up your nose. You can barely fit 2 meals up your nose without you gagging, sneezing, coughing, and wheezing. As for these guys, they can fit up to 10 litres and guzzle that water in one go. Now they've got the natural ability to shut off their sinuses, and they then suck up the water and spray it straight into their mouth. Like I mentioned, they have their head stuck on their shoulders, so they've pretty much got no substitution of neck. And that's how they obtain their food, by using that trunk and their water. Now inside that trunk it contains 40,000 individual muscles, which give it natural ability to figuratively move in every direction, as you can see Burma is well representing and demonstrating. There's no bone or cartilage within the trunk, as if there was, it wouldn't be able to be as flexible or as durable as you can see. Now there is a significant difference between the Asian elephant trunk and the African elephant trunk. If you look on the very end of the trunk there, you'll notice that there's a prehensile lip. Now that prehensile lip acts like a hand, and that's called an adjustive, and the prehensile means is just an opposable limb, which gives them a significant ability to be able to grab and hold on to products. Now as for the African elephants, they've got 2 of those prehensile lips, so they've basically got 2 hands on the end of their trunk, but that does not delimit these guys to what they have the abilities to be able to do. They can undo D-shackles, and they've also got the ability to pick up Australian 5-cent and 10-cent pieces off the ground. So in saying that, with that lip and how they've only got one of them, they've certainly got amazing abilities and amazing capabilities to be able to obtain their food sources, and when they are certainly thinking in that ability as well. Now, all throughout Asia, despite these guys being targeted for the poaching aspect for that ivory factor, they're also having huge and massive issues generally throughout the continent due to human conflict issues, which is directly coming from the population increase throughout Asia, which is directly having and opposing huge inflicting huge problems throughout Asia directly on the elephants. As I mentioned, these guys have huge dietary requirements, they have huge needs, being able to have amazing capabilities with eating
up to 100 kilos of food sources. Whenever population and habitat decreases, the elephants are turning to other food sources, which is generally people's crops. Now, people rely heavily on their crops for other substitutions as well as a formation of income for the family. Now, when the elephants are going down there and they're breaking down those crops and having a heavy digestive factor on the crops, it's having a huge demise on them and throughout Asia. So directly they're destroying the habitat, but they're also chasing off the elephants or even killing the elephants in the prowling side if they find them on the crops. So what we're doing as a conservation organisation is trying to help relocate elephants to a sustainable and protected area where they can live happily side by side each other without the continuous threat of having people nearby destroying their habitat, as well as having people live in a separate area knowing that they're free from becoming in contact with elephants. As if elephants do get aggressive, they're one of the strongest animals on the earth, and these guys can inflict certain damage, and they will destroy villages looking for food substance, particularly particularly elephant bulls, bull elephants in that regards. Despite the size and the trunk development, these guys have also got one other significant difference between the African elephant. If you notice and have a look at these guys' ear shape, these guys' ear shape are formatted into, and it looks like the formation of their ear shape looks like the Asian continent. Whilst if you do directly go home and YouTube and look up direct images of an African elephant, you'll notice that the African ear shape is in the same size and shape as, well, not the same size, but in the same formation and the same shape as the African continent. Giving these guys a direct, just like us, they've got the main veins and arteries in the ears, and that helps with them regulate and control their body temperature, giving them pretty much a natural and a direct fan throughout the day. Typically, the African elephant requires their bigger ears so they can formate that and get that big digested by that big flap, and that helps reduce the heat exhaustion on the body, as well as because of the main arteries and veins obtaining and being within the ear, it helps cool down and regulate the body temperature in that regards as well. Now, on a daily basis, we constantly are doing routine supplements and routine basis with these guys. They're also a very extreme routine animal. So they require everything to be the same every day. And you create a symbiotic relationship with these elephants. So when you do become an elephant keeper, you don't actually start straight up on elephants and working with them. You actually spend a time around these guys before you actually get to do any direct husbandry. Now, there are keepers here who have worked with these guys for 10 to 15 years, as particularly the girls in the next exhibit, as well as these girls at the front. And that's created this symbiotic relationship, as well as a trust relationship. And that's the massive part of that with these guys. Having that symbiotic relationship is built on trust. Excuse me. And it has a heavy effect on how we are able to do our day. If we didn't have that relationship, or if those keepers didn't have the relationship that they do with the elephants wouldn't be able to have their skin condition. We wouldn't be able to obtain the elephants in husbandry areas or in the captive complex, because they wouldn't trust us enough to be able to do that. A part of that relationship and a part of their daily routine is to get bathed. Now, they get bathed generally every morning. Now, it doesn't look like these girls have been bathed today, but what they do once they have had their bath is they directly come out and they throw the dirt on themselves. Now, kids, it's not saying, ha ha, I'm all dirty, like you might do to mum or dad again. What they are directly doing is they are providing themselves with a natural sunscreen. So they don't have that ointment where they can go and get their hand sanitizer and put it and rub it on their skin. Their natural sunscreen is actually dirt and sand directly. So when these guys have their body and their bodies are wet, that allows for that sand and dirt to stick to it, and that also stops with the heavy sun rays warming them up as well. And all of that directly. Now, to get a calf on the ground, it's a significant amount of work. It generally takes approximately about 5 years. As the elephant is generally pregnant, but she's got a gestation period of 22 months. From that development, you have to find the correct bull. Now, being a conservation organisation, we're constantly doing genetic work to try and find out the most suitable partner for and that pairing, so you get genetic diversity and so you're not interbreeding, and also so you continuously have an impact of doing elephant conservation throughout the world. Now, directly in saying that, all of the zoos have now, throughout the Australasian region, have turned to the conservation of Asian elephants. That's directly so we can work cooperatively with each other and also help with the genetic diversity, but it's also because it's so hard to obtain both species in one institute or even one area. So at the moment, you guys can't unfortunately see any African or find any African elephants throughout the Australasian area, which we've all obtained, and we all are concentrating on the Asian elephant conservation. And saying that doesn't mean directly that there aren't zoos working on the African conservation. There's many zoos overseas that are collectively and cooperatively working on the African conservation. Just in the main area that we are in, we're concentrating on the Asian elephants, and we do need everyone's cooperation in the Australasian region to help with these guys. To give you guys a daily and give you guys an intake, to work with the 9 elephants we got, we have to have a minimum of 7 staff members. To have both species, that's 14 staff members working with them. These guys have got a breeding complex of about 15 acres. And again, that's another formation and another development. You need to have the space to obtain both species. Both species wouldn't interact, nor would you interact with them, because that's not their natural capacity, especially with the bulls. Now, generally females, they're herd animals. As for the bulls, they're generally solitary, except when it comes to breeding season, where they will hang around the herd and try and protect the herd and also protect their new offspring that are recently on the carrion. Now, if any other bulls directly try and come in or interact with those cows and calves, that's when you have your problems with the bulls fighting for territory as well as other essence. Now, once the cows and calves are moved on, the bull will generally stay in the same area. He will rotate that through that, and generally more herds continuously go through his area rather than him directly going and looking for the herds in retrospective in that regards as well. Alright guys, so I'm going to finish up there. If anyone has got any general questions or inquiries, please feel free to come and ask. Other than that, I will be bringing the cows and the calves up close in approximately about 10 minutes time, and that will give you guys an opportunity to get perfect photos of the close region, because I'm going to go feed them later on, as well as that. The next talk is happening up at the Tiger at 12:10. If you do want to go to that, it is also a very exciting talk. As being a non-profitable organisation like we are, every talk you guys go to educates you on what we're doing and the platforms that we are going to look after our animals. And every dollar you guys actually spend here at the zoo actually goes back towards our animals. So the zoo does not profit from it whatsoever. The only way the zoo profits from it is being able to help us out and care for our animals in that regard. So if you do spend money at souvenir shops, the best thing you can purchase is the Beads for Wildlife, made by the traditional Maasai people, and that helps them out significantly because it reduces the poaching effect that is happening over in Africa on some of the significant species and most endangered species over there directly. Other than that, guys, enjoy the day. I hope you stay cool and have a great day here at Toowoomba Western Plains Zoo, and I hope to see you back here again. Thank you very much.